Alright guys, are we in the conference room? Yeah. Are we gonna learn some more cryptography? Hell yeah. Let's go. So, let me mute my phone. Okay. Let's do it. We close the door. And yeah, we have a couple of pages a bit dense of information. We talked about quantifying security last time and cipher cryptographic security in general. Now, today we're going to talk about achieving that security, right? How to guarantee that the security level you picked will stay safe. Let me just write this. Achieving security. All right. So again, we have a security level, and let me just make sure the camera gets the board right. This one video I think I didn't. Yeah, there you go. I think this is perfect. All right. So we chose a security level. How do we guarantee that that cryptographic scheme or cipher will stick to that security level with confidence at all time? We have two ways. Okay, so we chose a security model. We chose a security level, sorry, no model. Okay. How do we guarantee? I'm just gonna write it short. How do we guarantee it all the time? How are we gonna do that? So we're gonna introduce the concept of probable security and heuristic security. We're gonna do it with probable security and with heuristic security, okay? And these are the two, this is what we're gonna talk today, okay? Proving that a cipher, a cryptographic scheme, achieves a certain security level through these two ways. So, probable security means we guarantee, we prove that a cipher is secure on a certain security level by doing math proofs. Open parentheses, math proofs. While the heuristic security is something along the lines of evidence attempts. Attack attempts. Okay? Let's start with probable security. Okay? Probable security, basically, this is, I'm going to give you the general gist of it. Probable security means that we're going to demonstrate that to break the cipher, okay, we have to solve a problem that is as hard as a problem that is mathematically or defined as hard already, okay? So we have existing problems in mathematics which are hard. Hard mean hard to solve, computationally especially. And so if we can prove, we can show that to break that certain security, to break that certain cryptographic scheme, we have to solve a problem just like the hard mathematical problem, then we have a probable security, okay? And so, let's see. Let's talk about, probable. Probable security, okay? This will be an introduction. Probable security, again, it consists on the fact that the cryptography, the cipher, is safe as long as another hard and related math problem remains hard. Okay, hard to solve, obviously. Very good. Makes sense, right? So the proof, it's actually called a reduction. And let me make a brief example, okay? Reduction. And so we say, to use the appropriate word, that breaking a cipher is reducible to problem X, okay? An example is perfect. The cipher is reducible to problem X, okay? And so this implies that any method that breaks problem X will also break the cipher, okay? We're literally comparing it with a known math problem. And so we talk about a problem, right? But what kind of problems are there? So we can use a math problem or another cryptographical problem, okay? Let me see 1 second how I should lay this down on the board. All right, so let's zoom into this problem, okay? What does problem mean? So there's two kinds of problems, and I'm going to actually split maybe the board a little bit, yeah. Yes. Another crypto problem or a math problem. So again, we have a cryptographical algorithm. We have a cipher, okay? We wanna prove, let's start from the beginning. We have a cipher, okay? And we wanna prove, we chose a security level for that cipher. For example, we want to be able to say that it's impossible to get a private key for a certain cipher. So that's our security level. How do we guarantee that security level? All right, let's say we start with probable security, okay? And so math proofs. With probable security, we take our cipher and we find a related and analog analogous math problem or crypto problem, and we say, hey, since our cipher and the existing math problem that I just found analogous are both require the same effort to break, and so if this hard math problem is impossible to break, therefore my cipher is also very hard to break. I should be careful using impossible as a word, by the way, but you get my point, right? I'm trying to explain, put this like down in simple terms. So when you have proofs with math problems, you usually these are usually problems with a hard to find solution, but that are very easy to check one if the solution is provided to you. And an example is into the X as example, refactoring problem. Okay, the refactory problem, and I'm gonna separate these two sections. Okay, here talks about the math problems, and here about talks separate them like this. So math problem is the refactoring problem is an example of a math problem. What is the refactoring problem? Basically, if we have a number n, which is given by p times q, and both p and q are prime numbers, very important, it's gonna be, and so for example, we get n, so if we get n, so n is the product of two prime numbers, right? When n is small, no problem, we can refactor it, right? If we have n as 15, well, that's easy. What's 15 is given by prime number 3 times prime number 5, right? 3 times 5 is 16, so it's easy to refactor this n if it's small. But guys, pay attention now. If n becomes increasingly higher and increasingly bigger, then it becomes exponentially harder to find n. And so author gives an example. If n is 3000 bits long, then it's really something infeasible. Okay, that's kind of the threshold, I think. And so okay, we're talking about refactor problem. How does this matter for crypto? Well, the RSA uses the refactoring problem in this way. So let's make the example of the example. RSA, okay, we take the RSA. We haven't done RSA encryption yet, is a little bit forward in the book. So how does RSA encrypts a plain text? Okay, by doing this. Let's see, encryption is done by, so the ciphertext is gonna be equal to the plain text to the n, no, to the e mod n. Okay, where e and n, again, n is given by a product of two prime numbers, very important, and those are the public key. Let me open a parentheses, e and n are the public key. Okay, so what about the decryption? The decryption, we're getting a plain text, correct? We get a plain text from what? From the ciphertext to the d mod n. D mod n. Okay, and D is the private key. Priv key. Okay, so if we can factor n, if we can factor n, okay, we basically recover we get the private key, okay, and therefore we break RSA. So let me walk you through this again. We have probable security of a cipher. Let's pick RSA as a cipher now, as an example. We have RSA, and we know that if RSA is going to be safe as long as another hard related math problem remains hard. Okay, I'm just going to the definition. So we can reduce RSA. So RSA is reducible to the refactoring problem. Okay? What is the refactoring problem? The refactoring problem is based on the fact that a product of two prime numbers, if the numbers are really high, okay, I should write minimum 3000 bits long. Okay, I'm going to put it as a reference. 3000 bit long n values where it becomes infeasible to refactor this. And so, guys, here I apologize a second. I don't know exactly how refactoring arrays n is able to get you d, but I guess by doing some substitution, some math. I apologize, guys. Making a little bit of a leap of faith. But if we can refactor n, then we can get d, the value of d, of the private key. And so RSA is probably secure, with the v, secure, because it's very hard to refactor a huge prime number, therefore it's very hard to guess the private key in RSA. Okay, do you get this part? It's pretty straightforward. The only thing that I'm not clear, maybe somebody in the comments can give a few tips, is the fact that knowing how to refactor n gets you to d, which is the private key, and if you get d, the private key, you break the encryption. Okay, been repeating this for a while, but let's move on. Now, again, to do probable security, the other hard problem that you relate to your cipher can be a math problem, just like we saw now, or it can be another cryptographic problem. Okay, and that's usually the case. For example, when you're like, you can break a scheme only if you can break another related cryptographic scheme. So, for example, we have a single permutation algorithm, okay? Now that single permutation algorithm can be used for hash function, can be used to do random bit generation, and it can be used to do symmetric ciphers. Okay, am I writing okay? Yeah. And so what's happening is that as long as this permutation is secure, this algorithm is secure, so this crypto problem is secure, the other cryptographic schemes will remain secure. Okay, so again, instead of using a math problem as a, hey, to solve this cipher, you're gonna perform this math problem. This is another crypto problem. To solve this cipher, you have to solve this other crypto problem, okay? But it's basically the same logic. We have our cipher, we have another related problem, which can be math-based or crypto-based. And if this is hard to solve and it's very analogous to the procedure of this, then both are strong, okay? So I think that's all for the two kinds of problems. What can we say more about provable security? We can say that it has some caveats. We can have a security proof, but that is not an absolute guarantee, okay? It's not an absolute guarantee of real cipher security. Let me see. Okay, because the phrase proof of security in math means absolute proof, absolute truth, but in crypto it means relative truth, okay? And also always remember that you're proving against one notion of security, okay? So if getting a private key is as hard as doing this, then it satisfies the security notion of the private key. But if your goal is just to get plain texts from ciphertexts without recovering the key, then you're not playing on this level, and so the proof is not appropriate for what your attack or what the defense is focused on. Okay, so remember also, well, see caveats. Caveats of probable security, okay? So I make a star. One of them is that the phrase proof of security is a relative in math is absolute, in crypto is relative, again because we're only satisfying a one single notion. Okay? Now, another caveat of probable security is that you can have let me save some space. I will call it situation a situation of exceptions, and again this is probably with the RSA. Right, certain hard math problem in some particular rare scenarios become easy to break. So example, and the best example the book gives, and I'm gonna look more into it online after this lesson, is the 1978 knapsack algorithm cipher. Knapsack of 1978. This illustrates exactly, practically, what does it mean to have something that is probably secure, but in a situation where parameters are weak or some situation, then the hard math problem is not hard anymore. So, and then the third caveat of probable security is that yes, security can be okay, but implementation wrong, okay? The security can be okay, but the implementation can be wrong. And so this is what happens when, guys, how beautiful is Miami? I don't know if you can see, or you just see my zoomed face on the glass. Security, but the implementation can be wrong. And this is the case where an attacker can break a cipher thanks to, for example, side channels, right? He's not going to attack the cipher directly because the cipher is secure and it's like tough, anything, but maybe on the way that it's been implemented gives the attacker access to side channels, so computational time, power consumption. All these things are side channels that can give more hints and more ways for the attacker to attack a cipher that can be probably secure and, you know, have all the math proofs in the world that it's safe. And so yeah, also another thing is can be other than side channel attacks, allow attacks, but also wrong if the cipher has a very tough configuration, config file, right? That can be a reason for a weak cipher, even though it's been probably safe. If something probably safe is implemented wrong, fail, epic fail. You're gonna fail your security goals. Now let's talk about heuristics. So we'll talk about probable security, right? Which is basically math proofs, proving with mathematics and logic then that a cipher is safe according to a certain security level, according to a certain security notion. What about heuristic security? Okay, heuristic security doesn't deal with doing math proofs, doesn't deal with any of that. It's basically it's a more practical, I see it as a more practical real world kind of test, kind of security. Why? Because sometimes a probable security doesn't apply to all the ciphers. Because, okay, RSA can be related to the refactoring problem because we see that basically encrypting and decrypting with RSA is like doing math operation on numbers, right? On very large numbers. Remember how we represent data, numbers or bits, or it doesn't matter. It can always be converted into anything. But it mutates data according to math, and RSA does the same. But in some other scenarios, some, for example, symmetric algorithms, they cannot be related to any other hard problem because they are the hard problem themselves, right? Does it make sense? And so in these cases, you really can't perform probable security and you have to resort only to heuristic security, okay? And we'll give an example of a very famous cipher that we use every day. So let's see. Let's take AES, right? What's AES for? Stands for it stands for Advanced Encryption Standard, AES. So AES Advanced Encryption Standard, which is something that we use every day, guys, for when we communicate to our cell phones, to our laptops, is a symmetric cipher. Is not It's not solvable or safe. Secure. I'll put a lot of question marks, okay? It's not probably secure, guys. And so, it cannot, what does it mean it's not probably secure? That it cannot be related to another hard problem, being a math problem or a crypto problem. It cannot be related to any of them, this cryptographic algorithm, okay? And so what the hell, how can we, if we cannot do probably secure, how can we, why are we using it today? Why are we using it every day in our phones and communications? We're using it today, guys, but it's not probably secure. Now I'll finally give you the gist. The reason why we're using it today is because many skilled people attempted to break it and failed. Okay, many means hundreds. Skilled people means expert cryptanalyst, cryptoanalyst. Okay, attempted to break it with all kinds of attack, their crazy knowledge. They launch attacks and they cannot break it. And so that's what heuristic security is when many skilled people attempt to break a cipher and fail. Obviously, they also publish findings. Okay? And attempts. So everything is publicly recognized and checked and audited. And so the way they kind of give a more useful, the way you usefully determine the heuristic security is by this thing called security margin. So these people, they attempt 1, 2, 3 rounds, and I apologize, guys, I don't know what the author means by breaking a round. Yeah, when analyzing a new cipher, cryptanalysis first try to break 1 round, then 2, 3, or as many as they can. I'm not sure what a round is, guys. I'm sorry. I'll Google it. I'll try to figure out. Write it in the comments if you know. And so they attempt to break 1, 2, 3, 4 rounds, and so they give this score called security margin. Which is given by the total number of rounds minus the rounds of with successful attacks. Successful. Perfect. And so we can say that if after years, so if after years of attacks, the security margin stays high. Then the cipher and check this out now is prob. Secure. Okay, use the B, probably. In fact, another way to color heuristic security is probable, with B like Bravo, and this is V as victory. Probable, okay? And that's what it is. That's all there is. That's all for today, and that's all there is to know. And obviously very high level about achieving and guaranteeing and showing and proving the security of a cipher. And again, we see that there's two kinds. One that deals with, hey, the cipher is secure because big brain math proof says so. And the other one is the cipher is secure because so many people try to break it and they just can't. Okay. Yep. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments. This should be pretty straightforward. Let me know in the comments. Let me know if something is not clear, if I explain something bad. Let me know feedback. Your class. This is not a class. This is just me using the Feynman technique so I can learn better and maybe help somebody who also wants to learn. But yeah, if you tell me, give me feedback, these classes suck, they're good, this is what's good, this is what's bad, the more you leave feedback, the more I'll be very grateful with you. And yeah, give me some motivation to go on, subscribe and like, and that's it, guys. Get some water. That's it. Achieving security. Next time we'll do generating keys. I'm super excited for that one. Thank you for watching. Thank you again. See you next time.